Okay, hello and welcome to Hanging Out with Bob, podcast hosted by me, Bob Edholm. Thanks for joining us, and let's get started. Maybe what I should say is welcome back to Hanging Out with Bob, because this episode is part 2 of our podcast with my guest and friend Steve Durant and his top 5 Rolling Stones albums. In part 1, we covered 3 of those 5 albums: Beggars Banquet, Let It Bleed, and Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. Here in part 2, we'll be covering the other 2 in Steve's top 5 Stones albums, Sticky Fingers and Exile on Main Street. And here with me once again is Steve Durant. Stevie, welcome back to Hanging Out with Bob.
Thanks, Bobby.
And now that we are back, let's get to part 2 of our podcast with Steve Durant and his top 5 Rolling Stones albums. Well, the 4th of Steve Durant's top 5 Stones albums is called Sticky Fingers, the band's 9th studio album. It was released in late April 1971. It was also the first album released on their new label, Rolling Stones Records. And for the record, Sticky Fingers is widely regarded as one of the Rolling Stones' best albums. With 10 songs on it, Sticky Fingers was the band's first album to reach number 1 on both the UK and US albums charts. And it has since achieved triple platinum certification, or 3 million units sold in the US. The song Brown Sugar topped the Billboard Hot 100 in 1971. Sticky Fingers was voted the second best album of the year in the Village Voice's annual Paz and Jop Critics Poll for 1971, based on American critics' votes. And the album was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame and included in Rolling Stone magazine's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. On Sticky Fingers, Mick Taylor made his second full-length appearance on a Rolling Stones album after the live album Get Your Ya-Ya's Out, which Steve had talked about. But it was the first studio album without Brian Jones entirely, who had died 2 years earlier. The original Grammy-nominated cover artwork, conceived and photographed by some guy named Andy Warhol, has shown a picture of a man in tight jeans. That wasn't you, was it, Steve?
It was not.
With a working zipper that opened to reveal underwear fabric, tighty whities, as I remember reading about. And listeners, you can, of course, Google it to see it. Do you remember seeing that original cover, or did you see the...
I didn't own the zipper cover. You know, they got rid of that at some point. I think it was ruining the vinyl.
Well, it was wrecking the vinyl.
Yeah.
And it was expensive, and it was,
But I did have the vinyl, but again, without the picture, without the zipper.
I seem to remember, because I'm an old fart, but I can remember either Musicland or Target or wherever they had racks of records. I thought I remember seeing that album with the zipper on it. And I know eventually they just used it, I think like in this picture I've got just a photo of a guy in tight jeans.
That's what I had.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
It's just crazy. The cover.
But yeah, Andy Warhol.
Yeah. And then the back cover is basically the guy from the rear, right? It's just the same guy just turned around. So okay. Well, that's background on the album. Steve, why don't we again I'll sit back and let you just talk about this album, the first time you heard it and what songs just blew you away when you heard it and what you love about it.
Well, I think it's their greatest album, not named Exile on Main Street, and I think they are in full bloom here. I mean, they've got their best lineup with Mick Taylor and obviously Bobby Keys. Great songs, and by this time, Keith is completely into open G tuning mode. I mean, Brown Sugar is open G, Sway, Wild Horses, Can't You Hear Me Knocking, all great, open G. I think it's their
fabulous
signature sound.
Wow.
And I think that they finally really hit their stride with this album, and then obviously on to Exile on Main Street, and great songs.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to Brown Sugar and you can definitely hear that open G from the the beginning chords of the song, and Sway, which sounds exactly like half of the Black Crowes records. I mean, I really like the Black Crowes, but they definitely
got their inspiration from.
Oh, they definitely did.
Yep.
They do a lot of open G stuff, and
Yeah.
then you got Wild Horses with its open G, but it's an acoustic 12-string, which is just a beautiful sound.
Yeah.
But they have wonderful songs, great playing, their best lineup.
Yep.
Hard to beat.
And I promised I'd let you talk talk about this guy, Bobby Keys, who is an American sax player, obviously a great one because the Stones used him a lot. Tell us a little bit about him and your own personal involvement with him.
Well, Bobby's an interesting guy. Grew up in Texas, and I think quit school at 15 and went on the road with Buddy Holly.
Wow.
I mean, he played with Elvis. He played with all 4 of the Beatles. He played with The Who. I mean, if you think of John Lennon, whatever gets you through the night.
That's him?
That's him.
Oh,
what
okay.
a beautiful lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
And then I think one of the other real iconic leads is him playing the sax in Brown Sugar. I mean, that might be at the very top of the list. But I know that you read Keith's book, Life, and probably found out that Bobby was Keith's best friend and that they were born on exactly the same day.
Yep. He was from Texas, right? Is
From
that right?
Texas,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly the same age. Wow.
Yeah. Played with Joe Cocker. I mean, I think of other great leads like the sax on Sweet Virginia. I know he played with Joe Ely, and then the iconic lead on Can't You Hear Me Knockin'. I mean, he.
Wow.
I don't think there's any dispute. He is the greatest rock and roll sax player of all time, and he's certainly passed away.
Yeah.
I think maybe 10 years ago, something like that. But.
Yep. Yeah,
But I did have an opportunity to meet him once, and I know I've told you the story.
Yeah,
But,
when was this?
the Parkway Theater in South Minneapolis, near where I live, was doing a Rolling Stones retrospective, and they were playing a bunch of Rolling Stones concert videos. And I think you talked about Gimme Shelter. That was certainly one of them. Ladies and Gentlemen, the Rolling Stones, and there was a few others. I forget what. The Parkway Theater at that time was owned by a fellow named Joe Mangiaris, and Joe just passed away a few weeks ago, and he was a great guy. And in addition to owning the Parkway Theater, he was the longtime owner of Pepitos, a Mexican restaurant right next door. And really, that's kind of the heart and soul of my neighborhood over on 48th in Chicago, and Joe owned it since the 70s. So he'd been around a long time. But Joe knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy that knew Bobby Keys. Yeah. So Joe contacted Bobby and Bobby agreed to come up and give a little talk before they showed the movies, and then they would do a meet and greet, sign some merchandise and Pepitos afterwards. So I think Bobby probably got paid, and plus he was probably sensing a good time up in Minneapolis, so he decided to make the trip up.
Yeah.
So I go down to see the movies, and when I get there, I run into Joe, and he was with Bobby Keys. So I knew Joe a little bit, so he made the introduction, and I'm thinking, cool, I just met Bobby Keys, a member of the Rolling Stones, the greatest rock and roll sax player of all time, and a great character. So before the show, Bobby went up there, and he already had a few drinks in him, and so he's got a drink in one hand, and he was telling really funny stories, and he was, profane, and he was everything that you'd want from a member of the Rolling Stones. And then they showed the movies, and then afterwards, everybody retired to the Pepitos bar, as did I. So I went in there, and I saw Joe, and he invited me up to his table, and I got to sit right next to Bobby. And Bobby was, we were having a million beers, having a lot of fun, and he's signing all of this merch. And when he's finally done with the signing, we just started talking, and I told him I just read the, Keith's book, and Bobby is certainly prominent in that book.
Yep.
I mean, he's all over it. And I said, I'm a huge Keith Richards fan. I'm a guitar player, and I bought a Telecaster just like Keith's. I took off the low E string. I, have it. It lives in open G tuning, and is kind of an ode to Keith. And Bobby said, "Well, where do you live?" I said, "I just live a few blocks away." He said, "Well, go get it, man." So I did. I went home, got the guitar, brought it in the bar, gave it to Bobby, and Bobby grabbed it, and he's standing up, and he's doing a bunch of rock star stuff with it, and he's strumming it, although I don't really think he knows how to play it.
Are you getting pictures of this while he's doing that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. But, I mean, he's having a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and anyway, he signed it, and I have it today.
You still got it, yeah.
He was... he just wanted to have some beers, and he loved talking about, the Stones, and I was able to ask him lots of questions. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
crazy.
Especially if you get somebody that is willing to talk. You
Yeah.
didn't have to drag it out of him. He wanted to talk. So
Actually, there's
Cool.
a great documentary. I think you can find it on YouTube, and I think it's always Saturday night or something like that, but it's about Bobby Keys.
Okay.
And they have members of the Stones talking about him. They've got Bobby, being interviewed, and it's probably 45 minutes or an hour
Okay.
long. But, it's something... Yeah, it's always Saturday night or something like that. But it's great. I mean, he's one of the few characters. He's quit probably junior high to go on the road with Buddy Holly. I mean, who does that other than Tommy Stinson?
I wonder how. Yeah, I wonder how he learned to play sax. I mean, did he take like sax lessons as a kid, and then he just kept doing it, or he just pick it up and start playing? I always wondered, was there ever a book written on him? Or
I don't know.
Curious, because they said he's the greatest sax player you ever heard. And I said, how did you get so good? Who did you learn from?
I know Charlie Watts, in part of his interview, he just said, he's not the greatest saxophone player. He's the greatest rock and roll saxophone player. Yeah.
Right.
And, everybody wanted him on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
So anyway, he was a great character, and I'm glad I had a chance to meet him.
Again, it's funny, and we haven't talked about it on the other albums, but I know so many Rolling Stones songs become popular in just the overall culture. Like I can remember like Brown Sugar. I remember seeing a movie back in the early 80s. Sylvester Stallone was in it. It was called The Nighthawks. He and Billy D. Williams and Rutger Hauer. Do you know who he was?
Oh, sure.
He always played a bad guy.
Yep.
But I remember the opening, or one of the beginning scenes in the movie, there's like this nightclub in New York, and the people are dancing. They're playing Brown Sugar. This is about 81, but I thought, perfect use of that song, So, and a lot of the song, Wild Horses has been in a lot of different movies and documentaries, and just great songs. I think a lot of the songs of this album, especially, are used in TV shows. I think The Sopranos is used, Moonlight Mile, Dead Flowers is in The Big Lebowski. They use it because it's great. I remember a show called Ozark. I watched that. It was on a Netflix series.
I know of it.
That has Can't You Hear Me Knocking? They're playing it there. So just it's such a big part of the culture, the songs, especially off this album. So,
but what a record! I mean, it starts off with Brown Sugar, Sway. It's just the evil that's got you in its sway. Very cool song. And then Wild Horses. And then I think
song.
maybe my favorite Stones song of all time, Can't You Hear Me Knocking?
Yeah.
I mean, if there was one riff that is, iconic Keith that I had to point to, it would definitely be that song.
Can't You Hear Me Knocking? Okay.
And it's such a cool song because at the end of the main part of the song, you've got the outro, and they just turned that little outro into about a 5-minute jam.
Yes.
And it was completely unplanned. It was just a happy accident. And Bobby Keys' saxophone is just incredible with it. And, Keith's got the guitar going, and Charlie still plays the drums. And they just kind of kept it going, and none of them had any idea that it was being recorded, but somebody had the wherewithal to keep it going. And it is maybe their greatest piece of music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I was going to
and
mention
it's
one of their musicians that got used a lot. He was from Ghana, I think. His name is Rocky Dijon. But he's playing the congas. I remember watching that rock and roll circus show where he's playing during Sympathy for the Devil. He's playing the congas, and he was used a lot. Even in this one, Can't You Hear Me Knocking? He gets credit on that too.
Okay,
So,
all right.
Because that's part of that improv toward the end.
It is.
You
It
hear the congas.
definitely is. Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah.
So.
And then you got to move. It's kind of a traditional blues song, and there's some really cool, open G slide in it, and then. Bitch is another great song with a, wonderful Bobby Keys solo. I Got the Blues featuring, you talked about earlier, Billy Preston.
Yeah, Billy Preston,
If somebody ever wants to understand what a Hammond B3 organ sounds like, listen to I Got the Blues.
Okay.
That is, it's amazingly beautiful.
Preston.
And then Dead Flowers, which is another great song and another, tip of the cap to country music.
Mm-hmm. Ian Stewart's on that one too. It's showing my notes. He plays the piano in that song.
Okay.
So, wow.
And then finishes with Moonlit Mile.
Yep.
But what a great album.
Yeah.
And it might be their greatest album.
Yeah,
Exile's got a lot more songs.
Yeah, it's a double
clearly,
album virtually.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've read a lot of, when I was listening to it and looking it up, a lot of critics were saying this might have been one of their most complete. I mean, of all the great albums, this might be the best. So.
Yeah, other than Exile, it's their best record for sure.
Yeah. Okay, on to the final album of Steve's top 5 of favorite Stones albums, and it's called Exile on Main Street. This was their 10th studio album, and it's a double album. 2 vinyl discs, 4 sides, 18 songs. It was released on May 12th, 1972. Exile on Main Street is viewed as a culmination of a string of the band's most critically successful studio albums, following Banquet, Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, and it's known for its wide stylistic range and strong influence of Delta blues, gospel music, and country rock. And I was surprised to read this, Steve, but they said the album was originally met with mixed reviews before it started receiving strong reassessments by the end of the 70s. It's like once you started hearing it again, you go, wait, there's something here, So I was surprised at first it came out. It wasn't quite as warm as they thought, but right now it's definitely a classic. Yeah. And then the backstory, if you want to talk about this, but I heard that most of the stuff, most of the recorded material was in France. Mm-hmm. Keith had rented a villa or something. It's called Nelcote. Mm-hmm. And they were basically there because they owed taxes back in Britain, so they had to.
Well, they wanted to
out.
escape the tax rate, so they went to France.
They lived in France.
Yeah,
that must have been wild, though. I mean, all the music, and there must have been a few drugs and alcohol going.
Lots of drugs. I mean, it was a real problem. I mean,
Wow.
Keith was.
Yeah, he talks about that in life, doesn't he? Yeah.
Full-blown heroin addict by this time, and Graham Parsons was hanging out, and he was a full-blown heroin addict. Wow. William S. Burroughs was living with them for a while. Okay. I think John Lennon lived there for a little while.
Gosh.
I mean, it was truly the den of inequity. But I think Keith. Was living in the villa, and then they had this mobile recording studio, and that's what they used to record the whole album.
They recorded all that stuff, and then they came back and then mixed it, probably overdubbed. And
they did.
Because not all the musicians you hear on the record were in France, right? So they must have added those parts.
I think that's true.
Yeah. But it's a phenomenal album, and there's so many songs. My God, there's 18 songs. So
yeah, it's I can't imagine what it would have been like living there. I mean, I mentioned Graham Parsons. Mm-hmm. He was so bad that they had to ask him to leave. Can you imagine Keith Richards, asking?
Because they were tight, weren't they? I mean,
they were very tight. But he was such a horrible influence that Keith asked him.
You got to go. When Keith tells you got to go, you must really be.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Replacements firing Bob Stinson. So,
good analogy.
Graham Parsons, and I think shortly after that he died. So he was another of the 27 Club.
Oh wow!
And it's his demise is kind of interesting. He'd always told his friends that when he died, he wanted to be cremated in Joshua Tree National Park. He loved Joshua Tree National Park. So he dies at 27. Some of his friends stole his body in the casket, put it in a hearse, stole the hearse, drove to Joshua Tree, doused it with gasoline
Oh my gosh.
and lit them on fire.
Oh, wow. I had never heard that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Oh, man. Amazing. Oh.
you can't make it up.
No, you can't. You can't. Oh, gosh. I remember this album, especially, was 1972 when it came out, because I think that was the year the Stones were touring the U.S. And I remember they played at Met Center, and it was sold out and that stuff. And I think they even had like mini riots there too. I mean, it was wild because people were trying to break in. This is during the height of the anti-war movement and all that stuff. But I remember reading a review, and the Met Center at that time didn't have air conditioning, and they played there like in June or July of 1972. And I remember Jagger was saying that was one of the most uncomfortable concerts he's ever performed at because there was no air. It was so stuffy. And I thought, oh God, that must have been something. But I remember Tumbling Dice, obviously, and Happy. I mean, those are two songs that I always remembered from that album. But I'm sure you've got your own list of notes here. Just the tremendous variety of songs and so many guest musicians on that one as well.
Well, I think there's 18 songs, and even if you throw out the weakest 4, 5, or 6, you've got an incredible powerhouse album. I mean, look at how it starts. Rocks Off, Rip This Joint, Shake Your Hips, which is an old Slim Harpo, Casino Boogie with Bobby Keys, great sax on it, Tumbling Dice, which might be.
Great song.
Might be their signature song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got
agree.
everything that makes them great.
Yeah.
Country elements, rocks, blues, the whole thing. Sweet Virginia, and then you've got Torn and Frayed, which is not one of their best songs, but then Sweet Black Angel and Loving Cup. That's how the record starts.
Yeah.
I mean, just amazing.
Yeah.
And I think, if you. I think maybe people have been critical because there are a few weaker songs on it because there's 18 songs.
That's a lot of songs.
It's
yeah.
kind of like the White Album. There's got to be, 16, 17 songs.
It
And,
sounded-
I hear people talk about, what's the best Beatles album. Some people think Sgt. Pepper's, which I don't believe at all, but I think it's the White Album. I mean, if you strip off the weakest 3 or 4 or 5 songs, I mean, clearly it's the best record. But, I hear Sgt. Pepper's all the time, but Revolver is better. The White Album is way better. I think Abbey Road is better, but
What would you say? What is your favorite song off Exile on Main Street? I mean, if you were just go and turn on Spotify and say, I want to hear something from Exile, what would you go with first, probably?
Wow, that is very difficult. Maybe Sweet Virginia, because I've been, personally playing that song for, seemed like most of my long life. But I mean, I love so many songs. All Down the Line is just one of their all-time, great rockers. So is Rip This Joint, Rocks Off, Tumbling Dice.
Yep.
I mean, I've just got so many. I would have a hard time picking one, but
It's just with 18 songs, it might take a while. It take an hour to hear them all.
But playing Sweet Virginia for all of these years, and it's a cool song. About drinking wine, taking illicit drugs. I mean, what else do you want? And looking at Sweet Black Angel, also a really cool song, and I guess it's a tip of the cap to Angela Davis, the activist.
Yes.
And so I think that's what it's about, and it's got that cool West African rhythm. So I'm not sure where Keith came up with that, but it's a departure from almost everything that they had done.
Sweet Black Angel.
Yeah, Sweet Black Angel.
I didn't realize that was Angela Davis was the inspiration for that song.
I think that's
Wonder how
true.
Angela Davis felt about that.
I don't know.
She aware?
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. Yeah.
Interesting.
But Lovin' Cup, that's another great song. Yeah, and Happy, I mean, you referenced that earlier, and you're talking about Keith's signature songs. I mean, that's the top of the list, and I think I remember reading that that was recorded in the middle of the night, and Jimmy Miller was on drums. Keith did the guitar work, and Bobby Keys, just the three of them did it, and then I think they added to it, later. But the three of them in the middle of the night. Yeah, recorded Happy.
Well, and it's a real upbeat song. I mean, it's a fun song to listen to. Isn't it inspired by something that happened in his life? Was it a birth of a daughter? Or?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought there was a story behind that, how he came up with that. But yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah,
and that's the first song I remember him being the lead on. It's like I relied on top 40 music stations till I was in my 20s. And I remember that was the first Rolling Stone song I remember where he was the lead singer. It was always Mick. And I thought,
right. Very
Keith.
true.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and another open G jam. So very cool song.
Yeah. Alrighty, and then we'll just wrap this up like I did the other albums. The reason this is on your top 5?
I think similar to Sticky Fingers. It's all the pieces are in place, but this is, I think, unique, and I love the album so much because it sounds so loose and improvisational. I mean, it does sound like it's recorded in the basement of a villa, and I don't think they had air conditioning. It was real hot, and you had a cast of characters coming in and out, and I think Keith would stay up for like 3 or 4 days, recording this album, working on it, and then he would sleep for 3 or 4 days. And everybody was really unreliable.
Right.
That, just because you showed up to work doesn't mean that everybody is available, or they might be there, but they might be dead drunk. So I think it took a long time to record the album, but it's definitely got that real loose, just let's let it rip kind of a jam feel to it.
Did I read somewhere, I hope I'm not getting my albums confused, but I thought that Mick Jagger was kind of frustrated with the whole process. I mean, he's involved obviously in the songs, but maybe because it was sort of disorganized at times where it was just kind of frustrating.
I can imagine trying to work with Keith, being a heroin guy, that had to be difficult. And then all the stragglers, the hanger-ons, so that must have been difficult. And, I think Keith had his fun with recreational drugs, but he was never a heroin addict. So that would be difficult, I would imagine. Sure. And I didn't mention it yet on this one, but again, all of the album covers are very interesting, very unique. And on this one, on Exile on Main Street, I guess you just call it a photo montage. It's so busy. There's so many things. It's hard to pick out what it was, but I would encourage listeners to Google it just to see it. It's sort of chaotic, I guess, because I don't know what to look at. There's too many things to look at, but you definitely won't forget it when you see it. You'll know it's Exile on Main Street. So yeah, that's for sure.
Yep.
Bob, it seems like, I talk about these 5 albums again because 68 to 72, I think that's when they were at their greatest. But, Some Girls is another wonderful album. I think that was 78, and I think that was clearly the next greatest album, and that was so good that it could supplant a number of these possibly.
Yep. Yeah.
No,
good point. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to kind of transition from that, the 5 that we just talked about. Do you have a favorite of the 5? Would you go with Get Your Yayas Out if you wanted to send exile to a deserted island that somehow had electricity and the internet, and you can only listen to one of these 5 the rest of your life? Which one would you listen to?
Probably the live album.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that says a lot then. So
yeah, it may not be their best, but that's probably what I would have.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, let's call this the big picture segment of this podcast. You've done a great job of analyzing your top 5 albums by the Stones, and I'm just going to list them again in chronological order. We've listened to you talk about Beggars Banquet, which came out in December of 68. Let It Bleed, released in November of 1969. Get Your Yayas Out, the live album, that was released in September of 1970. Sticky Fingers, released in April of 1971. And Exile on Main Street, the double album, which came out in May of 72. Now, obviously, a lot of time has passed since these albums were released, over half century, and yet the Stones, amazingly, have continued to record and tour since then. That's the other thing, their longevity is just amazing. They've been definitely a dominant force in rock music and influenced a lot of people and have millions and millions of fans. They're, needless to say, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was like 36 years ago. They've been in the Hall of Fame. And a couple of stats that I just found fascinating. We talked about 5 of your albums you like by them. They've released 31 studio albums over 60 plus years. 39 live albums, including Get Your Yayas Out, 28 compilation albums, greatest hits, best of type stuff, 77 music videos. I didn't realize they'd done that many. And then all those singles they talked about. I saw somewhere it was like 122 45s or whatever they call them now. And they've sold over 250 million albums worldwide over all that time. I think only the Beatles may have sold more, I'm not sure, but it's just amazing. And all the top 10 albums, 38 of those and 8 number one hits overall, and just amazing. Now, have you ever seen them live? You never? Oh, you did. When did you see them?
In the 80s and the 90s. I've
Civic
seen them
Center
a couple
in St.
times.
Paul or Met Center?
Met Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you did see him. And what did you think of when you saw him then?
Well, I actually saw him at the Metrodome as well.
Okay.
They were about 300 yards from me, and it just...
Did they even have the giant TVs then where you could see them, or were you just relying on the guys?
It might have been before the giant TVs.
I was going to say, these days, that's how they kind of conquered that. They got the giant screens, but before you were just looking at little ants. It's like the guys on the cake on Let It Bleed. You're just looking at little bodies there. So
I love the band, but I really have no interest in going to see them at this point.
Same here. I understand.
Yeah, actually, they probably should have quit about 50 years ago. I mean, if they probably should have quit after Some Girls in '78. Yeah. I mean, they really. I haven't been a fan of their records too much since that point.
Yep. Why don't you, because I know you're an expert on these guys, why don't you just tell the listeners, tell us about the original Rolling Stones and what happened to those 5?
Well, Billy Wyman, he quit probably 25 years ago. I think just wanted to get off the road.
Sure. He was older too, wasn't he?
He was older, yeah. Mick Taylor, he left the band at the height of their success because I think he thought he was not going to survive it. I mean, he's running in with rough company, so he just, to save himself, he had to quit. Mick is still, vital.
He's going to be 82. Or he just turned 82
he is.
In July of 2025.
And Keith's going to be 82 this December. Wow. So, they put out that Hackney Diamonds, which is a pretty good album. I mean, I gave it a couple of listens, and the title track is really a good song. So, they're still somewhat vital. Obviously, Charlie Watts died. Some years ago.
2021.
Bobby
80.
Keys died. So,
Nicky Hopkins passed away. Ian Stewart. I think most of the musicians that helped out have passed away, but a lot of them were old anyway. So
they were,
or they had health issues. Ian Stewart, I read, died of a massive heart attack. He's only 47.
Wow.
And then Bobby, he was 70, but he had a cirrhosis. I mean, it was pretty advanced.
Well, Jimmy Miller, I think he died in his 50s, cirrhosis of the liver. I mean, he was a heavy hard drug user. So it was tough, but I mean, somehow Keith and Mick survived.
I know. It's
but
amazing.
Mick, he might be the most fit 82-year-old on the planet.
No fat on him at all. He's just
jumping around. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
good genes.
Good genes, but those guys, they should probably hang it up. But
I'm going to give you the last word, Steve. I just want you to kind of. We've talked about all 5 albums at great length, but tell me what the impact of these 5 Stones albums have had in your life. I mean, you play guitar, and I know that it's been fun to play along that stuff, but just this music, what it's meant to you in your life.
I mean, it's maybe the soundtrack of all of our lives of a certain generation. And just, along with, Neil Young, Jimi Hendrix, a lot of people just really made me want to, learn how to play. And I guess I would encourage anybody to take a deeper dive on the Stones or some of these albums for sure. I think we growing up when we've heard many of these songs on the radio, but many of my favorite Stone songs I've never heard on the radio.
Right. Yep.
And if you don't give the albums a good listen, you're going to miss out on really, really some amazing songs. So, I would encourage anybody to take a deeper dive. It probably worth the ride. Yep.
No, that's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that because it happened for me. I mean, just preparing for this podcast. You told me which albums you really loved, and I thought, I've heard songs from all of the albums, but I want to hear them all again and hear them in the order that they came out. I mean, it's like reading books. I mean, I just wanted to really get a feel for all of it, and it helped me a lot. And then, and we've talked about it a little bit throughout the podcast, but I think anybody that has any interest in music, especially the Rolling Stones, that memoir from Keith Richards is great.
That's
it's long.
brilliant.
I mean, it's like 550 pages, but it's almost like reading transcripts of interviews he did with the guys. Like you said, you can almost hear him talking when you read this stuff, and it's just a fascinating book. It's exciting, wild, but and you laugh at certain parts. It's just a great.
In what a generation! I mean, you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier that I forget which album, maybe "Let It Bleed," came out and was on the charts with Abbey Road.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the musicianship that was, in the UK at that time, because I think Keith points out that his generation, post World War II, was the first generation that didn't have to go into the army.
Yeah, he was planning on it, and then he didn't have to go.
Didn't
and say,
have
now
to
what
go.
do I do?
So a lot of the musicians and the artsier folks went to art school.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
all the Beatles, the Who,
Yep.
Eric Clapton, all those guys took
Yep.
that path.
Yeah.
And so I
Interesting.
think you took some tests after high school, and
Yeah.
if you didn't do so well, they made you a bricklayer.
Right.
And,
Does he go into trades, or does he go to art school?
Yeah,
where would be the
exactly.
best place to put him? Where would he benefit most? So.
Yeah, so I think that was an incubator for a lot of these musicians. I mean, it was amazing what
Yeah,
came out of that
it was.
period
It
in
was.
the UK.
Yep. Well, this has been a blast, Steve. I really appreciate you coming together and talking about these Stones. I've learned a lot, and I hope our listeners will get a lot out of this too. They're an incredible band, incredible history, incredible music, and the stuff is 50 years old, but it's classic. It's some of the best music that was ever made. So, again, thanks so much for telling us about it.
Well, Bobby, thanks for the opportunity. Fun to hang out with you, and I just wanted to try to do half as good as Cooley.
The reference to Ron Coolidge, yes. Another Columbia Heights guy who played for the Gophers and was gracious enough to come in here and do a podcast. It was a lot of fun. So, to our listeners again, thanks for hanging out with me, Bob Edholm, and my guest, Steve Durant, another great guy who grew up in Columbia Heights, the Heights. We hope you'll join us for the next episode of Hanging Out with Bob, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And until then, bye.